Did you know that Cleopatra, one of the most famous women in history, wasn't actually Egyptian? Now, that's a start to shake up everything you thought you knew about this iconic queen. Yes, Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt, was not an Egyptian by blood. She hailed from a lineage of Greek Macedonians, who were established as the ruling dynasty in Egypt following the death of Alexander the Great. The Ptolemaic rulers, including Cleopatra, were known for adopting Egyptian traditions and culture, but they were Hellenistic in their origins. This amalgamation of cultures is part of what made Cleopatra and her reign so fascinating. Her fluency in various languages, her political acumen, and her intriguing personal life all contributed to the enigma that is Cleopatra. So, the first fascinating fact about Cleopatra is that she was the first Ptolemaic ruler to actually speak the Egyptian language. Cleopatra ascended to the throne at a very young age, but how did she manage to maintain her power? Our tale begins in Alexandria, a city throbbing with intrigue, where a young Cleopatra, aged just 18, first grasped the scepter of power. Her early reign was not without its challenges, as she navigated the treacherous waters of politics, family feuds, and the constant threat of rebellion. Yet, Cleopatra was no ordinary queen. She possessed a keen intellect that she honed to a razor's edge, a mastery of languages that was unrivaled, and a political savvy that was well beyond her years. These traits were her weapons, her armor, and her tools to shape the destiny of Egypt. Her rise to power was marked by strategic alliance formation, a subtle dance in the dangerous world of politics. She knew that alliances were the lifeblood of her reign, the means to secure her throne and the future of her kingdom. And so she turned her gaze to Rome, the heart of an empire. Her first notable alliance was with none other than Julius Caesar, the mighty Roman general. Their relationship was not merely political, it was a love story that blossomed amidst the sands of Egypt and the marble halls of Rome, a tale of passion and power that would echo through the annals of history. When Caesar fell, Cleopatra did not let despair consume her. Instead, she formed another alliance, this time with Mark Antony, a Roman politician and general. Again, their alliance was not just a political maneuver, it was a love story, a tapestry of affection and ambition, woven against the backdrop of a world in turmoil. Through these alliances, Cleopatra not only maintained her power, but also redefined the possibilities of her reign. She was a queen who dared to dream, to challenge, and to love. Cleopatra's alliances were not just political moves, but also love stories that have been immortalized in history and literature. Scene script. Cleopatra was more than just a pretty face, she was a highly educated woman and a shrewd politician. But what evidence do we have of her intelligence? Well, let's start with her education. The princess was tutored by the finest scholars in Alexandria, the intellectual capital of the ancient world. She was well versed in mathematics, philosophy, oratory, and medicine. In addition to her native Koine Greek, she spoke 9 languages, a feat unheard of among her predecessors, making her the first Ptolemaic ruler to speak Egyptian. Cleopatra's linguistic prowess was not merely a demonstration of her intellectual capabilities, but also a political strategy. By speaking the native language, she was able to directly communicate with her Egyptian subjects, an act that endeared her to the people and strengthened her rule. Her political acumen was equally impressive. During her reign, she navigated through a labyrinth of power struggles, alliances, and betrayals. She forged strategic partnerships with 2 of the most powerful men of her time, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, to secure her throne and maintain Egypt's independence. Cleopatra's intelligence was not confined to politics and diplomacy. She played a pivotal role in transforming Alexandria into a major hub of learning and culture. Under her patronage, the famous Library of Alexandria flourished. This great institution was home to hundreds of thousands of scrolls and attracted scholars from all over the ancient world, further establishing Alexandria as a beacon of knowledge. Cleopatra was not just a queen, she was a scholar, a diplomat, a military strategist, and a patron of the arts and sciences. Her reign was marked by economic prosperity, political stability, and cultural renaissance. Even in the face of adversity, she demonstrated an uncanny ability to adapt and make strategic decisions that served the best interests of her kingdom. Cleopatra's intelligence and political savvy were key to her maintaining power and influence in a world dominated by men. In a time when women were often sidelined, Cleopatra's reign stands as a testament to her ingenuity and resilience. Cleopatra's death marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the end of an era. But how did she die? That question has puzzled historians for centuries. The most widely accepted theory is that Cleopatra committed suicide, but not in an ordinary way. Oh no, she was far too theatrical for that. The story goes that she allowed a deadly asp, a symbol of divine royalty, to bite her, a dramatic end fitting for such a captivating queen. However, like many aspects of Cleopatra's life, her death is shrouded in mystery and controversy. Some historians argue that the suicide theory is nothing more than a romanticized tale. They suggest that Cleopatra may have been murdered, possibly at the behest of Octavian, the future Roman Emperor Augustus, who saw her as a threat to his power. Regardless of the circumstances of her death, one thing is clear. Cleopatra's demise marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty. She was the last of the Egyptian pharaohs, a lineage that had ruled Egypt for nearly 300 years. With her death, Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire, marking the end of an era and the beginning of Roman rule. Cleopatra was an extraordinary woman who lived in extraordinary times. She was a powerful queen, a shrewd politician, and a passionate lover. Her life was full of drama and intrigue, and her death was no different. She left a lasting legacy that continues to captivate us to this day. But as we reflect on the life and death of Cleopatra, we must remember that she was more than just a queen. She was a symbol of power and resistance, a woman who defied the conventions of her time and fought for her people and her throne until the very end. Cleopatra's death, as dramatic as her life, marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter in the history of Egypt. A chapter that would see the rise of Rome, the fall of Egypt, and the enduring legacy of a queen who refused to be forgotten. More than 2,000 years after her death, Cleopatra continues to be a symbol of power and beauty. But what is her legacy? Cleopatra's influence extends far beyond her reign as the last queen of Egypt, permeating into our popular culture. Her life has been the subject of countless films and literature, often portrayed as a femme fatale who used her cunning and charm to navigate the political landscape of her time. Yet, her legacy is not just about her romantic entanglements. Cleopatra was a powerful and ingenious ruler who held her own in a male-dominated world. She was a polyglot, a skilled diplomat, and an effective administrator who steered Egypt through a period of relative prosperity. Her story continues to inspire and intrigue, challenging the stereotypes of female leadership. It is a testament to her enduring appeal that, centuries after her death, Cleopatra still captures our imagination. Cleopatra, the last queen of Egypt, remains an enigma and a symbol of power, beauty, and intelligence, her legacy enduring through the ages.